Right, welcome back. Hello, my name's Kate, and today we're going to run through the return to running guidelines. So after you've had a baby, it is recommended that you wait at least 3 months before you start your impact exercise again. And that totally depends on what type of delivery you've had, how are you recovering, and what was your fitness before you had the baby anyway. So if you haven't ran in a year, then it is recommended that you take a real gradual approach to it. Start your couch to 5k, but this video shows you the little simple steps to take where you're giving yourself almost a test. Run through these 10 points, and if at one point that you find that you are stuck or anything is causing pain, or you're leaking, or you're just feeling this isn't comfortable, that's maybe your limit for now. Work at that before you progress on to the next one. So we start in standing, where we're now challenging the body and the tummy and the pelvic floor against gravity and body weight. So using the principles that you've learned in some earlier core videos, I want you to inhale and really fill your lungs. And then on the exhale, we're learning that this out breath brings the ribs down, connects to our tummy, and then lift pelvic floor up at the same time. Big inhale. Think about expanding, letting the belly go, opening, and then as you exhale, belly button draws in, your core tightens, your ribs come down, trying to keep still these collarbones nice and open. Inhale. Exhale, tighten, close, zip, pull up, whatever works for you. Like I say, if this is the hardest one and you're just getting that connection and that multitasking where you're trying to do everything at the same time, then that's fine. Just stay here and work on that. Work on that when you're rocking baby, work on that when you're brushing your teeth, doing the cooking, okay? And then we can start layering it up. So we're layering it up with some movement, and we're going to come up onto our toes. Inhale as we go down, and exhale as we come up. Remembering that exhale automatically connects us to pelvic floor to pull in. Release and pull up. Release. Remember the release, so you're putting the muscle down, and exhale as you pull the muscle up. Without squeezing your bum too much. You feel, have a little dig around that midline. Is it tightening? Is it hardening as you're exhaling and lifting? Zipping up pelvic floor as well. We'll do 4 more here. And 2. And 1. Okay, from there we're going to start going into a squat. So we're coming down and then pulling up. Now start with just a gentle knee bend and zipping up. Inhale as we go down, legs take the strain, but as soon as we start pushing our body weight up, we start to connect, lift, squeeze, and zip up to the top. Pull up pelvic floor and release it. Zip it up and release it. Inhale down, exhale rise. See if you can go that little bit deeper, pulling it up, right to the top. So as soon as you start to push with the heels, connect to the glutes, the tummy, things tighten and you're taking it with you. And this also mimics just getting up out of a chair. So even if you want to start with sitting, and as soon as you start to lift up, you take your pelvic floor with you. Again, 4 more. And again, we're challenging balance a little bit, pushing up on that big toe. Good job, okay? So the next one is starting to march. Still standing in this nice position, but now we're going to move the legs into an upright position, connecting through our hip flexors. Trying to connect with pelvic floor here is a lot harder because your body is now trying to be aware of all the other muscles around your pelvis that need to keep your balance steady. So inhale down, exhale, switch over to the other leg. Now muscles will connect automatically. Your deeper core is trying to hold your pelvis in a nice neutral position. Try and be aware that you're not dipping and sinking. Keep that pelvis up and work through the glutes. Exhaling, inhale down. Now again, layering it up with arm movements, getting a little bit faster. Now, as long as you're not pushing down to pelvic floor or crunching or bellowing out or breath holding, okay? So remember those ones, no bearing down, bellowing out or holding your breath. And that's why the exhale is so important, because it's so automatic, and the more you can do that and train into these movements, the more your pelvic floor will react to that. Squeeze, drop, squeeze, drop, squeeze, drop. 4 more. Okay, if again that's a little bit confusing, stay there. Go back to level 1, level 2, and then start marching on the spot. Okay, again, do that when you're holding the baby or rocking, trying to get the little one to sleep. Okay, lots of little different movements going up and down the stairs. Okay, next one on the list is then coming into more of a split lunge, and then we'll go into our lunge drive. So exactly the same, but as a squat, but now we're in this split foot position, which again mimics your running more. So one foot in front of the other, we're coming down and up. Inhale down, keep the back nice and straight, leg strength, but as soon as you start pushing up, make it wider if you want, go deeper if you want. Again, a little bit harder to connect pelvic floor there because our hips are now one in front of the other. So our pelvic floor is not in that nice neutral position anymore. We've got a little bit of torsion on it. It's functional though, okay? We need to train it in these positions. Legs are taking the weight on the way down, let the belly drop. But as soon as you push up, tighten, squeeze pelvic floor, take it with you. 4 more this side. Let's switch over. And one side might feel easier than another because of past injuries or anything similar. So let's stay on this side, down and up. Again, leg strength. Take the weight as you go down, release the belly. Make sure you do relax to then reconnect, squeeze, and take it back up. Inhale, exhale. Again, we're challenging balance, all those smaller intrinsic muscles. 4 more here. Okay, all still very low impact, but now we want to start making it a little bit harder. Okay, so we'll go on to our hops and then go back to a little bit more balance work. So single leg hop from one leg to the other is training our transfer weight through one side and another. Not everything is in that front plane. So let's start on one foot and just hop to the other foot. Now you can step it out to begin with and then start increasing that hop until you're getting a little bit more air underneath your foot. Okay, so starting on one. And the split second before you lift up, you're going to engage, blow out, and land on the other foot. Again, training the body that exhale is automatically connecting to this engagement around our core and our pelvic floor and our hip stability muscles. Now, if that just a little bit of a jump is just causing any of those symptoms that we mentioned, that bellowing, that pressure, sense of needing to pee, then you're going more just into a step and get it a little bit lower before you just take that little bit of air underneath your foot before you land on the other. And then you're just trying to speed it up. See how you go with that one before you then try more of the front and back, which is where our body weight is going to come forward as if you're starting to run. And how much can you take that weight impact through that front leg, feel nice and stable through that hip, and engagement through the core and the pelvic floor. Again, exhaling just before you land. 4 more this side. Now I'm really exaggerating that blowout, but do whatever feels comfortable for you, but making sure that you're not holding your breath as you land. Try the other side. Is there a difference? Now we know that in running and pressure on the knees take 4 times your body weight when you start jumping and running on them. So imagine that also getting transferred into your pelvic floor. It does need to be considerably stronger than some of the other muscles to do their function properly, okay? Let's go back to a little bit of balance stuff where we're starting to reach. Okay, now when you reach forward or you're bending to pick up, we're coming down into your downward dog. This position also is changing my pelvic floor and putting pressure in different areas. Exhale, let's reach forward and feel how we're kind of opening here anyway. We're stretching through the back of the hips, but I want you to connect and close around the back and then zipping up through the front still. Exhaling, zip up. Inhale, relax. Exhale, zip up. Inhale, relax. Try and reach forward as much as you can, keeping your back nice and straight. You'll feel that pull up the hamstrings anyway. A nice one to be able to feel a little bit more with what's happening because we're not moving our legs. We'll do 4 more here. Head down, arms up, so that we get a nice spinal stretch as well, testing that mobility around your thoracic spine. Good, always breathe. Let's try single leg. So challenging the balance, knee in line with second toe. You can either just hover that opposite leg or you can reach it out behind you. So we're kind of into our standing Supermans. Again, blow out. Let's reach. Feel how your tummy's connecting and then zip up pelvic floor. Inhale down. Now again, if you're finding that really difficult, either because of balance or you're not getting that connection, or you feel, no, I'm pushing rather than zipping, pause the video here, go back a step and build back up. Let's do 4 more on the other side. Well done. Okay, moving on to increase those hops now. So split hops and then with a switch and then we start jogging, okay? So we're back into this 1 foot in front of the other position where we're now hopping on both feet, just going up and down, okay? But exactly the same as what we did from side to side. You want to connect and exhale, split second before we lift. Open and release. Belly soft, exhale, belly hard, pelvic floor up, hold it there, release. Okay, again, speed it up, make it higher, make it more forceful. Try the other side. Work with where you feel comfortable. Pushing off both toes. Ideally landing more on your forefoot than your heel. Again, use your arm motion into propelling yourself. That's going to mimic your running as well. Speed it up. Now, even if you're not getting a huge amount of squeeze, I don't feel like I'm doing it right, as long as you know that you're not pushing or you're peeing or feeling that pressure, you're good to carry on, okay? Get the breath connection. You know that you're tightening here, but I don't really feel like I'm getting a huge squeeze. That's okay, as long as you're not bearing down, okay? It will reflexively be working, and you're just you're training it to get more efficient at that. Once you're happy with the static jumps, we're going to switch over. So switch first. See what you're feeling when you do that. Now connect the breath a little bit more. Consciously engage, don't grip, but engage a little bit more. Okay, try different blows. Is it more of a hiss? Is it a big blowout? Is it just a gentle one? Again, faster, higher, heavier, where you want to go with it. Play around with it, see if you can do a full minute, and that gives you a good indication of being able to go out more onto the streets. Okay, and then the last one is just jogging on the spot. So even if you start with a really nice low, foot always in contact with the ground, it certainly gets your heart rate up, and it gives you the idea of just transferring that weight. It comes quite naturally to runners, getting the arms involved, a little bit of a twist. And you shouldn't have to think too much about your breath. If you start to speed it up or lifting the feet a little bit more, now I can feel a little bit more around my hips and my tummy, but as long as you're still breathing. Find your natural pattern. Okay, the knees may become higher or come behind you, wherever you feel comfortable, and you want to try and aim to do again 60 seconds jogging on the spot to show and prove to your body that you are capable of managing those pressures, breathing through it, and you're impacting without compensating by maybe going heavier and trying to grip through your hip, or your knees taking more of the strain. As light as you can through the feet lessens the impact through the knees and the pelvis as well. So trying those little steps and building up, but make sure that you pause and regress and focus on that before you progress on to the next ones. Now, once you're quite happy doing all them, you are now free to go and try your couch to 5K on the streets. And that can be starting with your minute jog, minute walk, making sure also that you either stay on the flat or you try a little bit more uphill. What most people tend to report is that when they come downhill, there is a bigger impact through the joints, therefore they're more likely to leak. So little things like making sure that you're not coming downhill on your way home, for example, so that you're already fatigued, and then that's going to increase the potential for issues. Running uphill, walking downhill, for example. But try and stay on the flat and just build up the fitness to begin with, and making sure that you're not running with any symptoms. Okay, feel free to message me with any concerns that you might have, but that gives you an idea of the impact and the build up that we'd like to try and train the body to start back running. Best wishes.